Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining us today. You are hearing Namrita, and I am the Regional Director Forex in India. In this session, we are going to discuss and share knowledge on information security if it's a need or necessity. To keep this session lively and dynamic, I would request all of you to put forward your remarks, questions over the chat panel, question panel, and we will address them all one by one during the Q&A slot. Also, there are some polls which will be displayed during the session. Request you all to participate in the polls to have a better comprehension. With that, I would like to introduce our speaker, Mr. Christoph. He graduated in Information Science at the University of Lodz and has an MA in Database Information System. In 2005, he founded Business Excellence Institute Limited, based in Poland, where he was CEO and President of the board. From 2008, Christoph has been the owner of BEI Christoph and Partners, an excellent accredited training partner for Agile Scrum, ISO 20K, ISO 27K. Since 2014, Christoph has been an active QA reviewer for translations from English into Polish for Exim. He is a co-author of exam questions for Exim, various modules like Agile Scrum Foundation, Master, Product Owner, DevOps Professional, VariSM Foundation, and Professional. He is an ITIL expert. He is an ITIL 4 Managing Professional and ITIL 4 Strategic Leader. He is also certified in Prince 2 and Prince 2 Agile Practitioner, Agile Scrum Master, VariSM Professional, TOGAF 9.2, MSP Practitioner, ISO 20K, and ISO 27002. For the last 16 years, Mr. Christoph fulfilled a role as a supervisor for Exxon. I would also like to introduce our panelist, Mr. Naradri, founder and CEO of Zelentro, which is an Exxon accredited training partner as well. He is an experienced practitioner and thought leader in the area of DevOps, IT service management, portfolio, program and project management. He has provided consulting to various top organizations across the world. He is also chief organizer of DevOps India Summit, director at Engineering DevOps Consulting, and ambassador of DevOps Institute. Most recently, he has achieved the status of international author of the best-selling book on Amazon named Adapting to Industry Infinity, New Wow for IT Service Providers. With that, I would like to invite Mr. Naradri from Zelentro to initiate the session.
Thank you, Namrita, and thanks, Christoph, for joining us today and take us through the very important topic of information security need or necessity. And thanks to the entire Exim team for jointly organizing this webinar for the Indian and the global community. So if you look at it, today we see that 80% of the organizations are telling that they have a hard time finding and hiring security professionals. We are still depending on a few handful of people that are there. And it is also saying that 71% they are saying that it's impacting their ability to deliver security projects within their organizations. And this is what Mr. Firstbrook had mentioned in the Gartner Security and Risk Management Summit. Security is becoming very, very important. However, from our childhood as in the office childhood, we have never been told that security is also our responsibility. But today what we see is that each one of us is responsible. I would like to ask Mr. Christoph to take us forward with your experience as to what you think is information security a need or a necessity.
Mm-hmm. Thank you, Nilordi.
Before we start, I think we will have one poll for everyone to answer, and then Christoph can start off, because that will be a good input for him to start his session.
Thank you, Nilordi. Thank you, Namrata. We have also Sebastian from Exim. Excellent We have two companies. We were working together, and I'm very proud to be here with this excellent companion. So let me just introduce our topic. It's information security need of necessity. Together with Exin and Excellentro, we just provocate you because from one side the answer is very obvious. It's it's a mandatory to think about information security from the perspective of situation in the world, from the perspective of protecting our resources, information. I just see that the poll is still in progress, so I invite you to fulfill this as test ourselves. Answering the question is also one of my main activity. This is a gossip. This is that I am the most certified trainer in the world, as I have collected during the 18 years 106 different certificates. And I not count certificates like Novel, like OpenVMS, like PABX. Only best management practices is 106, and I'm active trainer, international trainer, and it's helped me to understand current situation, digitalization, fourth digital revolution, especially working for big organizations in the world. So let's move on. I hope my colleagues Sebastian, Rodi, and Namrata can support me with this. And this is our short agenda. So we just a little bit something about Exin, about myself as a subject matter expert, but more we would like to focus on information security by Exin, and in my own opinion is a special program, special proposal for people who would like to be involved in information security, as it's for individuals to support organizations and to be more and more competitive in the big market as a global market. So also we have some tips for you how to convince different stakeholders and shareholders to invest in security management, and why certification part by Exin. I can confirm my cooperation with Exin started in 2005, so many years ago. And during the time, I really can count on the support from their side, and also I support them in different situations. I would like to check because do you have any question here or not? I just would like to be sure. So as Namrata introduced me, I would like just to add that I'm still a practitioner. I'm not just theoretical trainer with more than 100 certificates, but I'm just working as a, for example, chief architect in big project, big enterprise architecture project here in Poland. Also, I was involved in a big project provided by experts from the whole world when we established a methodology approach for service management. It was VRSM. And also, I fulfill a role in my own organization as a chief security officer and the chief digital transformation officer, because it was mandatory for one of the biggest projects I was involved. So you can see my experience. Also, I had an experience as a, and many of my students just thinking how I can did this, because I was the author, co-author of many questions for Agile Scrum Foundation, Agile Scrum Product Owner, Agile Scrum Master, for VRSM Foundation, and many others. And also I'm involved in a quality assurance process when I work with another company like Axelos. So life is changing, and first of all, I am very happy that you are here on our webinar, And I would like to say just a few words I know from Hindi. Namaste all, namaste. And Dhanyavad, you're coming here. So we have got the main topic is information security. So here we just consider that information security involves, first of all, the definition, implementation, and then maintenance and evaluation of a coherent system of measures, that ensure those three keywords, shining words, highlight words: availability, integrity, and confidentiality of the information and provision. So it's how to save, how to make information available, and how, it doesn't matter, manual or computerized. I remember I worked for Minister of Justice in one of the countries in Europe, and we provided a system of electronic flow of information, electronic flow of documentation. And after that, this company, Department of IT, invited me to just meet with the heads of these business units and to check how they feel, and especially from the perspective of information security. And we checked that still some of the departments use manual approach because they feel more comfortable. So it was a lot of possibility to just lose documentation, or documentation can be stolen. So availability, integrity, and confidentiality, three buzzwords are in this form as a CIA. So probably you know CIA from America as a Central Investigation Agency, but this is for something the main in the information security, to make information from one side available, from another to keep confidential, and also to keep them integrated. So this is preservation of confidentiality, integrity, and availability of information. But in addition, other properties such as authenticity, accountability, non-repudiation, and reliability can also be involved. During my work as a consultant, trusted advisor, as a trainer or subject matter expert, when we build up information security policy, those buzzwords are very important. For example, authenticity, to be sure that person sending you information is the right person. And just imagine, yesterday, my life partner sent something to the portal on which you can sell something like a desk or books or whatever, and somebody reply immediately, I wanted this, I pay for it, please click this link. My partner says, okay, I'm not sure. So I said, okay, let's try. We recall the number, and it was not a lady who ordered this, but was somebody from another country speaking different and strange language. So we have to be careful, even in private situation. Non-repudiation, just consider that somebody can just not confirm that send something. I tell you one case. When I was president of the board, and I have 100, my company wasn't very big, just 150 people, and we working for security, working for outsourcing, and we deliver trainings as well. And also develop software like a mass mailing. My colleague who was with me in the board of the company, he was such a person who likes some tricks or make tricky things. He just observed, because we were a company to support our customers with security. So he observed one of our employees not protect her computer properly, and he went to his desk, opened his computer, and sent email to me as a president of the board. You stupid guy, or something like that. And he wanted to show her that it's not, even if the company, inside in the company, when you feel safe, you should think about this. I was shocked that somebody sent me such an email, and I'm not overacting, so I asked my colleague, my business partner, and he started laughing that he tried to observe reaction. I'm not sure it's a good approach with information security, but show me that even if I feel safe in my own company, I should keep some principles, some rules and regulations, and information security support us to make this information security policy more active, more realistic. So the next question is a little bit provocative. What is information security and more? The question, is information security still relevant to the organizations? I believe this is very, very important that for organizations, especially in digital age, when we are in the fourth digital revolution, when it's still a horrible pandemic time, that most of our employees working from home, we still, and new approaches, new emergent technologies like blockchain, like cloud computing, like artificial intelligence, we have to still thinking more and more just one step before people who would like to make some digital crimes. And I would like to check with
Hi, Christoph.
Yes, would you like to join me?
Yes, so this is the time where we will have another poll.
Right.
So, before the poll, let me just bring in a couple of points. Very interesting when you explain the non-repudiation and other things, because what is important today to understand is we are not only looking at protecting from the external perimeter, but we are also looking at protecting from the internal perimeter, from the hacks and other things that are happening from within the organization. For example, if you remember the Capital One breach, the lady who was an ex AWS employee knew certain loopholes which she used to bring down data into her own laptop from her own home from the Capital One scenario. Right now, coming to this point, is information security is still relevant? We will definitely go ahead what you have to say, but just taking some figures, the data breach cost that is happening in India itself is 165 million, which is 20% increase from the previous year, from 2020. And so on an average, 4.24 million is the per incident average cost of data breach. And what we are seeing is the remote work situation is having definitely a strong impact on the breach itself. So these are some of the figures that are there. So I will request Sebastian to have the poll, and then we will hand over to Christoph.
Yeah, it's a good question. What is the percentage of CEO who have cyber threats and their top concern? I will be very honest with you. In the numbers of the companies I work for, like maybe you remember Digital Equipment Corporation, IBM, Compaq Computer, OCE, Dutch company, like a Gartner Group, also is a Gartner Group or Gartner. And I have a privilege to be involved in asking this type of questions to CEO from the biggest companies in the world. So it's very nice. So let me know, in your opinion, what is a percentage of CEO who have cyber threats as their top concern? As a trusted advisor, this name also coming from Gartner. As a trusted advisor, I met many people from top management, and they also share with me their concerns or interests, and they're focusing on different stuff. But I just we would like to know your opinion about that. Do we have the results? All right, we have some results. So the most is 95, right? So it's 95%, and the rest is everyone is 20, 20, 20. And what is the right answer? Let's see on the next slide. Here we are. Let's move on. 85%, 85% of surveyed CEO says cyber threats are a top concern. So still, it's a huge number. Still, it's most of the CEO top managers focusing on these cyber threats more and more, as information security now in the digital age is more and more important. Also, almost half of them said they would increase their investment in cyber security within 3 years. I had a lot of examples of people who just joined my trainings or consultancy before of this stuff. One of my students is one of 30,000 people. Till now, during 18 years, I have taught 30,000 people. It happened to me. I don't know how it, because still I love it. I love it to share my experience. I love to share knowledge. I love to support my students with different topics, from security to enterprise architecture to service management, project management, etc. So we have to think very seriously about information security in the digital age. As information security still remains a top priority for companies, senior managers, CEOs, and driven by the impact of increased digitalization due to pandemic and COVID-19. This has brought the role of an information security officer further into the spotlight. So we'll mention at the end of our meeting. I believe this. One of the case I remember, I trained the company, and one of the officers said that we need this, and they focusing on the training. It's information security based on ISO 27000. And after that, he just reported to me that he won a big and huge contract for governance agency. So it's happened to me. Another story I remember, one of my students from Madrid, I just tried to convince him, because he was more focused on existing methodology in the company. It was big telecom with a color in the name from Europe. And I tried to convince him, please, Eugenio, think about information security, especially because I knew this should be very important for the organization. He said, no, we have got Prince 2, ITIL, but not information security. I said, but maybe I can support you. I can give you a special offer for that. After half a year, when I visited him in Madrid, he said, okay, let's go for it. But I don't think my company needed. So when he passed this exam, after the next 9 months, I have no contact with him, and immediately he just starts texting me and says, Christoph, you are like a prophet. How did you know that it will be necessary, it will be mandatory? My company changed the course, and now information security in the company is the most crucial thing. I said, I'm not a prophet. I just know what happened in the global market, as I'm a global trainer and trusted advisor. So he said, my boss was fired. His boss was fired. My colleagues left company. I stay, and I'm happy of that, because I had this one certificate on the foundation level, information security, ISO 20000, ISO 27000, and it helped me to be a project manager in a huge project for a customer in Germany. So it could happen. Just observe. If you have any question in the questioning, I need to know. Just let me check. I cannot see any question. Organization, yes. So we move on to the value, because information security is based that information is a value. It's one of the crucial resource of an organization. So on the slide, you can see information is one of the most valuable assets of an organization. And also value of information is determined by value that the recipient attached to it. So for me, information is a power. Information means that I can influence. From the information security standard, you can see that, first of all, the identification of risks related to external party access should take into account the following issue: the value and sensitivity of the information involved, and is critically for business operation. And the information can be in different forms. For example, when I work for a big organization like Digital Equipment Corporation or Compaq Computer, I was responsible for access control. So we had collected all information about our visitors, our employees, our subcontractors, contractors, suppliers, and all this was reflected in the access control system. When we uploaded a new version of the system, I sat down in a very nice place. You know, maybe this place is a server room, and there is calm. The servers make some very nice noise. So when I just sat down and observing this new system is running, somebody opened the door. Just imagine the huge metal door. Nobody can open ever. And he said, I would like to change my password. I said, how can I? And I observed that the information from the previous system was totally destroyed and totally overlapped, but everyone now can get access everywhere. So it was a very dangerous situation, fortunately under control, and we repair immediately, but it's about power of information. Second, you can see information should be classified in terms of its value, legal requirements, sensitivity, and critically to the organization. So we have to take what is the information and how we can manage them, information that impact situation. During my training, usually I say the case that somebody looked to the system, just information. Somebody looked to the system, and it's just only information. Somebody looked to the system 2 a.m. in the night, still information. But now it's information at the level as a warning. Then you can check that somebody looked to the system 2 a.m. in the night, and this person was fired 3 weeks ago. So this is your incident. Information security incident. You have to react. You have to set up appropriate methods to know how to recognize this type of attack. And the third one. And the third one is security requirements and controls should reflect the business value of information assets involved and potentially business damage, which might result from a failure or absence of security. I experienced this on my own company because we had no proper information about our investment. And finally, I lost my company because of a huge debt, and my company partner, business partner, left me as well. So I experienced on my own life that not proper information, not adequate information can kill you and your organization. I experienced this. Of course, I save my resources and transfer to my own company as a sole trader. But after 10 years as a president of the board, I lost my company. So it's very, very realistic. So here we are.
We stop for the next poll before we proceed.
Yes, please. Oh my gosh, CIA is what I mentioned is about American agency, right? Like FBI, CIA, right? By the way, it's a top secret, so I can share with you. I trained FBI in Washington, D.C. It was a group that was people from FBI, from IT, of course, and from people who save life on the boats, U.S. Coast Guard, U.S. Coast Guard. So that time they teach me, maybe you know this principle, KISS, keep it simple, and this is not appropriate word, and they taught me that this is keep it simple sailor always. So what is CIA stands for? I like the second bullet, chaos, integrity, available, chaos. Maybe this one, maybe, or maybe not, right? So
let's see the result.
Okay, I would say yeah. Oh gosh, confidentiality, integrity, availability. Cool. This is the right answer. Perfect. So I invite you to the training. It's great to meet you. Maybe inshallah one day I will be. By the way, 2 weeks ago I delivered training DevOps as well for my students in Bangalore. So maybe you know Bangalore, right? Nilodri, something like this, yeah?
Yes, I stay in Bangalore.
Okay, so I had students, and you can believe or not, I'm a professor in the Warsaw School of Computer Science, and this week, this afternoon, I will have a scholarship. I have a training for students from India coming here in Poland for Master of Engineering as well. All right,
so let's go ahead.
Go ahead. We have this is the estimated average costs of cybercrime increasing by last 3 years by 50%, and is set to exceed $1 trillion US. It's a lot of money we can just spend. I was in a project for big telecom here in Poland for analyzing gaps, and at that time we analyzed based on salary and was about gaps in the process and data information protection, and we realized that we spent quarterly 1 million euro, 1 million euro just for our losers or something we can lose from information security perspective. So it's very realistic dates, and unfortunately, it will be increasing over time. So right now, just before 2022, we have to protect ourselves. Information security is about protection, detection, correction. It's about that. So information must be protected. It's, in my opinion, mandatory to stay alive. To stay alive. So we mentioned these three words: confidentiality, integrity, and availability. Are the basis for the reliability of information, or in other words, is determined by these three aspects: confidentiality, integrity, and availability. So it's by definition, confidentiality is the degree to which access to information is restricted to a defined group authorized to have this access, to only people who should have access to information. Availability is the degree to which information is available for user. For one side, we have to get access available for users and for the information system that is in operation, the moment the organization requires. I remember one of a project for Ministry of Internal Affairs, and we just focusing on information security, and was a big issue because they established so strict levels of confidentiality that one of the departments cannot work because they wanted to interact with external world and to get some files, some emails with files, and the system totally cut all the attachments, They cannot just work. So we have to establish a safe way to share information, share files, even if the organization have to be protected. And integrity is the degree to which the information is up to date and without errors, failures, correctness, completeness, and of the information. So this is, as you know, confidentiality, availability, and integrity. Three keywords we should focus on. So we move on, and especially because it was important in the past, but now in the digital age, in the pandemic time, is more and more important as COVID-19 and digitalization has accelerated the risk of becoming vulnerable. So now the world is changing all the time. 64% of employees are now able to work from home as a result of COVID-19. I'm one of them because before pandemia, I traveled around the world from United States to Asia, to Singapore, to Australia, to everywhere. And now, last 2 years, I'm just delivering my trainings, my services, my advices just from my home office. It's a nice place. I live in the capital of Poland, in Warsaw, but it's a part, there's this wide forest around me. Yesterday, when I walked through the forest, I met white animals like deers, like a lot of birds. But still, it's a capital of Poland, and this is an amazing place. So I can deliver training around the world, the biggest organization in the world, maybe you heard about NATO or European Parliament or UNESCO or United Nations. I work for this type of customers, and from home, from this wide place. These new working practices have prompted a rethinking of organization security, policy, and tooling. When we use our own desktops, our own tools, when we use we have to protect against the viruses, about social viruses, like using different methods to stolen information from our organization and ourselves. So far, the observed impact of increased digitalization during the pandemic has become clear. It's more from 1K to 4K increase daily cybercrime complaints received by FBI during the pandemic, so increasing. So we cannot stop. And as we know, virus, COVID-19, and this pandemic stay with us longer, and we have to be aware. Now in Poland, we have 4 waves here. An average amount of hours before a compromise was discovered is 15 hours. So we are not aware. Information security support us and help us just to know exactly what, and we have to squeeze this time, and we should be aware as soon as possible, detect as soon as possible. 19 hours, average amount of hours it took for most organizations to resolve security incidents. It's too long. We have to be faster. We have to do something more and faster, quicker, because it's about to stay alive, in my opinion. The question is how to prepare. How to prepare? And the answer is 2 organizations in common propose the standard ISO, International Organization for Standardization, and International Electrotechnical Commission, And this is how to establish in 27001 the requirements for the system, the requirements what we have to fulfill. So it's like a checklist, but also support us. The requirements of our information security management system, and 27002 about technology, information technology and security techniques as a code of practice. So we have this one to support us. Inside,
at this point, before we move forward, at this point, let us take a small discussion, and we will also have a poll at this point before we move to this particular slide. So if you look at it, we see that there is a very important need. It is not need anymore, it is necessity. That is what we are seeing. And if you look at the DevSecOps, you have already seen that security is everybody's responsibility. Even in the latest book by Google, which is Building Reliable and Secure Software, Google mentions that they feel that the system is not secure or not reliable if it is not secure. So if you look at the DevOps handbook, which was written a long time back by Jim Keane, James Humble, Patrick DeBoy, and John Willis, it talks about information security as everybody's job, protecting the entire deployment pipeline and integrating the change management and other security and compliance controls throughout in that book. So it talks about integrating security into the development iteration demonstrations, integrating security into defect tracking and postmortem, integrating preventive security controls into shared source code repositories and shared services, integrating security into the deployment pipeline, ensuring security of the application, of the supply chain, software supply chain, ensuring security of the environment, integrating information security into production telemetry. If you look at it, even the IDLE 4 has specific mentions of information security in various places, and it talks about DevSecOps as a separate section. So what we see is that security is not just something which needs to be done at the end of things, but it is everybody's responsibility to do what they need to do at their own level. And that's why it is important for everyone to understand security and take it forward. So definitely we need people at every level, whether a developer, whether a tester, whether a operations person, whether it is they are a database administrator or network, everybody has to think of security in their own area of work. So how to get prepared for that is what Christoph is going to say. But before that, let us take the last poll at this point, and then we'll move there.
What is the percentage of insider cybersecurity incident and data leaks coming from employees? I just wonder how they think. Maybe not much, maybe. Employees? As some of my colleagues from C-level says, cannot. You know, one of my sentences I learned from my colleagues is change people or change people. It means change people, I mean support them, help them, mentor them, help as much as possible, train them, or change people to another one. This is what C-level people think, right?
We can move and see what the answers are.
Yeah.
70%, right?
70%. And the right answer is on the next slide. Here we are. Oh, yeah. 60%, right? Of insider cybersecurity incident leaks. So almost you answer almost. It's not much less than 70, but 60%. But it's a huge number as well. So as already mentioned about ITF4, we just focusing on people first, like America first, people first, and we should focus on them. That's why it's so important to train them, to make them aware from both sides, not only from IT, but also business. And 80% of disconnected employees soon to leave a company attempt to take internal vote. So it's an option. The information security officer can develop a cybersecurity culture because it's about attitude to the risk, to the security incident. And this could be an option. Ensuring everybody in your company undertakes training to increase awareness. Issuing a training mandate to get the entire company on the same page, to use the same understanding, and implementing awareness training to take place every 6 months to renew, to keep this in mind. When you consider information system and technology system, so information technology support us to keep track on information security, but information system, including also people and how they use different parts of the system of the technology. It's ongoing way and influencing to each other. And ISO 27000 also covers those both aspects. How to convince different stakeholders? I know you know the stakeholder, people with concerns or interests to invest in security management. Stakeholders, shareholders, how to convince them? Just few aspects, that few tips for that. Increasing the security issues, they are arising in line with the digitalization of products and services. So everybody in the organization are aware that we are in the digital age, and we have to just consider digitalization as an option, or we cannot exist anymore. Protect, correct, and detect your information security, data, and resources. Please, we have to, at the senior management level, protect our resources, because otherwise we cannot just provide our business and to support our customers. And security start to increase the value of our organization, especially from the perspective of cooperation, collaboration with our customers. They know that they can rely on us, that if they share something with us, they will be protected. Fulfill regulatory requirements from external to our organization. Save money. Based on my case, please save your money and save your organization. Otherwise, it could happen like in my situation, that I lost my company, Business Excellence Institute. Also, I work for a big company like Digital Company Corporation, not exist anymore, and any other. Receive enough budget and support for your security to convince senior leaders, senior management, and be part of fast-growing domains like privacy and data protection, like BCM, BCP, like a cyber and IT security, and how to influence it as well. So, as I said, the option, and for me, it's a very interesting option. I did this also for to be more competitive as a provider, as a supplier of many different services to my customers. So Exim proposed information security officer, and from the very beginning, from the first, we call this career path. It was something like a service integrator, agile service. It was from the first beginning. I was very enthusiastic, and I recommend this because it helped you. The idea is very simple. The certificate, I hope X is not here, is for free. But you have to prove, and that's it, you have to just collect knowledge, experience from information security management, from privacy and data protection, or BCP, or cyber IT security, and also at the professional level of information security management, ISO 27001. If you get those certificates, you first of all, you improve your skills, you improve your organization, value of your organization, and you can get from Exim this one, Exim Information Security Officer. Amazing. I really believe in that. So I just check because now it's stays something. So do you have any question? I invite you. And I would like to I'm waiting for a question. Me and Niloradi, Namrata and Sebastian, we are here just to think about it.
Yes, I
Please.
think it's very important for the last piece that you mentioned, that we need to convince our leadership. And
Yes.
the only way to convince leadership is by showing the numbers, that how it is affecting, how it is going to affect the business if security is not done properly. It's not just a set of people called security SMEs who is all responsible. It's the entire team, entire organization which is responsible. And that's where education is the key. Even if you look at the OWASP talks about multi-level security training that needs to happen throughout the organization. And this training is not that compliance training that everybody has to go pass through, that don't take bribe and things like that. This is pure technical security training to understand how each one is contributing towards making it secure. And that's where these different points that has been mentioned here, like the information security management foundation, the information security management professional, takes care of certain aspects, whereas the privacy and data protection looks at the data protection part. So people working in the European or with European organizations, the GDPR compliances, that looks here. If you look at the cyber and IT security, then this goes into quite a detail of the cyber security aspects. And obviously from the operations side, security breaches are also aspects of business continuity. So as operations people, as SREs, we need to start looking at business continuity management, how security has to be brought in as part of it. And that's where the security chaos engineering and various other aspects of security testing and gets into play with this. So I think all in all, the information security officer is kind of a big amount of information that needs to be given to the entire IT fraternity, which we never got till date. Handing it over to Namrata. If there is any questions.
Thank you, Christoph and Naradri, for such an insightful session. As of now, I don't see any questions. Possibly that means that it was a wonderful, interactive one. I think we can request all the participants, in case you have some questions after this session. Also, please get in contact with us, either with Exen or Excellentro or Christoph himself. So we are there to support you with all your questions and clarifications, if any. We'll just wait for another 30 seconds if in case anyone is typing in, else we can end the session. Here we have the email ID as well, and you also would have Excellentro and Exen email IDs from where you might have received the invitations. So you can reach out to us in any of the email IDs and we will take care of your questions. All right, since there are no more questions, thank you everyone. Thank you everyone for your time. Thank you, Christoph, for giving us such a wonderful session, and thank you, Naradri, for your time. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks everyone.
Sorry to interrupt. We just had one question come in.
Yes.
Sorry. It's how do I start my training with cybersecurity?
So let me take that. I think the best way to do is, as Christoph has mentioned, that there is this Exen course, which as Excellentro, we also as accredited partner, we provide it. So it's a combination of 3 topics that you have to choose, and you pass the 3 exams to become a cybersecurity expert. So that becomes your starting point, and then keep reading and keep finding out all the different things that are happening across the globe. So you can connect with us, and this question came from whom?
excuse my pronunciation, but it came from Shiralingas Vastrad.
Okay. So yeah, you can connect to Exen or anyone as Namrata mentioned, and we should be able to help you out on charting the path for you to move forward.
Okay, I think that's everything. So now we can we can close up. Thank you, everyone.
Sure. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Christoph.
Thank you.